Next game, one of the bigger games, 7:30 p.m. Alabama taking on Oklahoma. Right now, the over/under is 47.5. Alabama's favored by 14. Vegas likes the big. What do we like here at the new SEC podcast in this game, and what do we think are the keys to the game, and what should we expect from this Jackson Arnold-led offense and this Jalen Milroe-led offense?
Yeah, and it's tough because Alabama right now is playing some of the best football they had in the season to date. Oklahoma started out a little rough, but we're starting to see a bit of a resurgence. They're doing better and better every week. Right now, I think this Oklahoma defense is built to beat Alabama right now. The way that this Oklahoma defense has performed in the rushing game defensively, they're swarming to the run. They're great tacklers. We've seen what they've done against Dylan Sampson this season, Jarquez Hunter. They held those guys to under 100 yards both times. So, yeah, I think that if Alabama tries to come out and play this new style of let's pound the rock football, it could be tough to do under the lights there in Norman.
Yeah, it could definitely really make for a tough game for them. We talked about what Oklahoma's defense has been able to do, but I think for Alabama, I don't know if this Oklahoma offense is able to do enough. They brought in Jackson Arnold. We've seen some improved, performances against Missouri and against some of these other teams. It still hasn't been enough to kind of take them over the hump. With Oklahoma kind of struggling here in the SEC for their first season.
Yeah, they've gotten better, and it's been the story of not asking Arnold to do too much with the ball, keeping it closer to the line of scrimmage. Javonte Barnes has been performing a little bit better, but it's all about the injuries and the weapons that they've had. They haven't really had the strongest receiving core, and that's been hurting them in the games to this point where now Jackson Arnold, you don't have guys to go out and be all-star playmakers and get big plays, so you're kind of having to slice and dice your way up the field. Alabama right now defensively is picking teams off. They're doing well at shutting down the opposition when it comes to running, when it comes to QB runs, and that's something that Jackson Arnold's going to try to do. I'm not sure what Oklahoma's offense is going to do in this game to catch Alabama's defense off guard.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the challenge with the Venables teams of late. The last couple of years, we saw their OC got let go earlier this year. One thing I liked against Mercer was their ability to get Ryan Williams involved on the ground. We saw a pretty big run from him. You're not one of the coaches for Alabama, but do you think that we could see some plays like that this game, or how could you see Alabama best using Ryan Williams creatively to really blow this game open?
I think that right now, they'll use him downfield like they did earlier in the year. I think we're going to get back to a little bit of that. But I think more than anything, seeing the way that teams play him, they're bringing some guys out. They're putting their safety over there, which is kind of why some of his numbers in receiving have gone down. They're getting more guys involved. I think that's how they're going to use Ryan Williams, is to help get more guys involved. We saw Caleb Odom play a little bit more last week and get some targets. So it's not just the, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams show. You're going to have some other guys get involved, but I think Ryan Williams will still get his fair share of shots downfield.
Definitely.
4 plus 2 equals 6.
That's what they say, right? And the math adds up, right? You don't need a calculator for that one to understand what those two numbers add up to. And so, if Oklahoma does have a shot in this game, is it more about them slowing down Alabama? You might have mentioned this earlier. Is it more about them slowing down this offense?
Yeah.
Or is it more about their offense being able to overpower this defense?
I think they have to throw Alabama's offensive game plan out, and that's running the ball. I think, Alabama knows coming into this game that running the ball could be difficult. But if you catch Alabama, we've seen it this year, they've caught themselves in a lot of third downs that need some low percentage plays to happen. And if you get Alabama at 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, because their running isn't going anywhere, Alabama's not necessarily built for that, right? Like they're more of a get some chunks here and there, put us in 3rd and manageable. Let's pound the rock. That's what they've done well as of late. Oklahoma can stop that. If they do, play the field position game, keep it in a low scoring game, they could do it. I don't think Oklahoma could win in some sort of shootout scenario though.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And one of the questions I asked myself was, should I expect a performance like Alabama versus Missouri? Not necessarily from a rushing the ball perspective, but just a game control, 31 zip. Should I expect like an LSU performance? Or do I expect, one of these closer games, right? Early on, maybe we kind of see Alabama sputtering to start off with getting adjusted to this Oklahoma defense that is sitting, kind of top in the SEC. Not number one, but up there. It's kind of what I
Yeah.
was asking myself when it comes to this game.
I think that's a good read on the game. I could see that 100% being the case. A little bit of a slower start, USF ish, where
Yep.
they took a while to get going and then blew it open late, or just maybe in this game they don't blow it open at all and it's a close one like South Carolina or something like that, where they might have felt like they had a better handle on the game than they went out there and performed and executed on. So yeah, if Alabama they're gonna have to work on the pass a little bit more. I think that's the story of the next 2 weeks for them. Playing
Yep.
Auburn next, it's going to be a similar thing where they're going to have maybe some troubles running the ball exclusively or 60% of the time like they have been lately. So I like Alabama though. I think that they've been playing good football as of late. It's a tough one to go on the road, but you know what you're playing for. You
Yep.
win out, you're in the playoff. You win out and you get some help from some others. You're in the SEC championship game. It's a lot more that they're playing for than Oklahoma is. There's pride on
Definitely.
the line. I get it, but I like Alabama 34-17.
Okay. Okay. So you like them covering. I think, I like that score. I like that prediction. I think Oklahoma, it's still Bama. So every team's going to give Bama their best shot. So I would say they're playing to kind of be spoiler, to have that marquee win going into next season. I'm going to challenge that a little bit. But I feel like the 14-point spread is favorable. I think Bama is able to win this one, 35-14. So should be a good one for the Roll Tide fans if it plays out that way. And for Boomer Sooner Nation, maybe they have the chance to pull off an upset here, right? We always talk about playing with house money, so this could be one of those games where they could potentially make something happen.